highlights of the defending three-peat MEAC champions, South Carolina State University Bulldogs. Our sponsors are State Farm Insurance, Palmetto Health, Orangeburg County, the United States Coast Guard, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, Advanced Diagnostic Imaging Center, Fats Cafe, Bill Owings Custom Clothing, and Whitash Furnishings. And now here's head coach Buddy Pough and our host Ernest Robinson.
And welcome once again to another edition of the Buddy Pough Show as we talk South Carolina State football with Bulldog head football coach Buddy Pough. Saturday, the Bulldogs headed down to Daytona Beach, Florida to take on the Bethune Cookman Wildcats in a classic matchup. South Carolina State coming away with a thrilling 26-18 win, Coach. When you look at this win, very satisfying win, but boy, our defense played so well.
Didn't they? It was a fun day to watch those guys run around and hit people. And, you know, I've got to take my hat off to that entire side of the ball over there. We had some good things happening on special teams and on offense, too. It's a little bit harder to find sometimes when we're looking at our offense now because we are a big-time work in progress. But I think we're going to get that figured out pretty soon here.
Tell you what, when you look at Saturday's game, a lot of emotion, Coach, and this rivalry has really developed between South Carolina State and Bethune. And this is the way we started. You look at that offensive line, Coach, they had their moments on Saturday.
Right, right. And we actually started Devin Flowers at guard instead of Jake. And the rest of this crew all had, you know, their moments at times. Thomas Williams had some great plays for us out on the flanks blocking, and Ashton did well, and Derek Wilder played good at times. So, you know, we've got some things that we got to work out within our offense to kind of get him to playing a little bit better. But, you know, I'm excited about where we're headed. And then this defensive front here, Pat Washington and Roynell Ferguson, you know, Malcolm Reed had, you know, tremendous games, all of them. And
another big game from the linebacking core, Christian Thompson, Joe Thomas, Courtney Ingram, that group entirely. Donovan Richards played well.
I don't know how many plays those guys made. I mean, the whole crew of them. And then our secondary played good. Dominique had maybe the biggest play of all. Yard didn't play Saturday. We moved Darius Drummond to corner and moved some guys around there. Mason Harris had his moments. But, you know, those guys played very well. And then Blake Erickson has really had a good year. David Davis has done a nice job also.
That was where we started on Saturday. We will take a time out here on the Buddy Pough Show. When we come back, we'll get to Saturday's exciting highlights of State Farm first half highlights on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
Furnishings for the set of the Buddy Pough Show are provided by Whitash Furnishings. Whitash Furnishings is a proud sponsor of the Buddy Pough Show.
Had a great contingency on fans on a Saturday down in Daytona Beach, Florida. We won the toss, deferred to the second half, so that means we see the high prolific Bethune-Cookman offense up first.
Yeah, we ended up kicking off to them, and Blake kicked the ball out of bounds. That might have been the last bad play he had all day. Everything else was pretty good. And you see our defense there running and hitting. That's Donovan Richards and Darius Drummond, all those guys that getting in the quarter bomb, I think, was in there too. And this is a fourth down play here. They actually went for it on 4th and 1 at the 50-yard line, and our team defense was really good there. Pat Washington made the stop, and then we get the football here. And you see us run the football. We don't quite get enough going here, and we end up punting the ball, and Blake has a fantastic punt down to about their 1-inch yard line.
Blake Erickson, this is a 59-yard punt. In 7 punts on Saturday, he averaged 42 yards a punt.
He is really having a good year so far. And, you know, it appears that he may be as good a kicker as there is in our league. And then Roynell Ferguson comes off the backside of the block and makes a safety there for us.
Get South Carolina State on the board. Sounds like a baseball score, but let me tell you, folks, we take it. 11:50 to go first quarter. We're up 2-0, and we get the football back.
Right, and they kick off to us, and we use Darius Drummond back to return the kickoff because, you know, we think it's going to be a punt-style deal, but they actually kick it. And, you know, Darius gets a good run. We take it back across the field. Stephen Murphy's there. I wish he had got ahead of him, but he didn't. But Darius still returned the football well across midfield. And we end up driving it down here and I think get another field goal out of there.
South Carolina State will move the football again. Derek Wiley at quarterback, and the give inside, this is Ashton Jordan.
Ashton has a nice run. We get the football down to about the 20-some-odd yard line, but he moves around and gets a nice little deal there, and then we come back and we kick the field goal. This is actually a 48-yarder.
It ties the longest in Blake Erickson's career. His career longest is 48 yards. That ties it there, and South Carolina State will take the 5-0 lead at this point.
Right, they get it back and try to run a little bit of a screen deal here. They throw the ball out in the flat, and Darius and Drummer makes a nice play running up here and tackling. But now they come back and throw the play action ball here on, I think it's like 3rd and long, and hit a deep ball for a touchdown.
It is Jamar Robinson, the transfer from Maryland, 44-yard connection to Eddie Pough. The point after touchdown was no good, so we've got a little bit of an unusual score. Sounds like a baseball score in the 3rd inning. 6-5 now. Bethune-Cookman with the lead. And
it stays this way until they end up pinning us down on the end zone here. But Derek runs around here pretty good. We got to get him to do a little bit better the job of protecting that football. That's scary a little bit. And that guy hits him late, and that guy had a lot of those style late hits last week and got away with it, but this week they didn't. And we run a little cut zone play here, and Derek runs for about 4 or 5 yards.
South Carolina State on the attack, trailing 6-5. Wiley back to pass once again. And, Coach, I thought we did a better job of route running this week against the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was Julius Pendergrass there from up at Chester Soccer. He's one of our freshmen playing for us. You see Julius coming through here again on the speed sweep, and we try to go deep on him, and, that guy intercepts the football here. They actually had a review on this play because they call it call it incomplete, but they did reverse the call.
And there, of course, for South Carolina State, Curtis Hill, freshman out of Blythewood.
Curtis is really starting to play good for us. You see CT, Christian Thompson comes up and finishes them off, and then we see another group of our guys. That's Joe Thomas and Darius Drummond, all of that crowd there. I think CT, Christian Thompson comes up and gets involved in that play also.
We go into the second quarter. Bethune-Cookman leading 6-5 with the football in South Carolina State's territory. But the defense really made it tough for the Wildcats.
And this is a nice job of Donovan really forcing him to have to throw the football, and Dominique makes one of his 2 interceptions for today.
Big play here for Bethune-Cookman. Pendergrass gets hemmed up. Football comes loose. Bethune-Cookman now returns the favor. They get a safety, and they go up 8-5.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a missed assignment in the end zone there, and they did get the football for a 2-point game, but it was one of those kind of things where we probably came out the best of that particular situation, and then they come back here and run a little read play outside, and Christian Thompson and Donovan Richards go, and they strike him, and Devon Quarterbaum is all over, and he's in perfect position to recover the football for us.
South Carolina State takes over now in the second quarter, time running down in the first half, and nice run here by Derek Wiley.
Yes, this is one of his better runs. He had one later in the game, but this was the read play, and Derek looks like he's going to get a score there, but now we don't quite make it, and then we go for a field goal, and it's unusual that Blake didn't make it. I almost thought that he was automatic from that distance, but he didn't. But we come back here at the end of the half, and you see us kind of turning the dogs loose on them here. Mike Adams is doing a nice job of blitzing them. This guy doesn't stand in there very good. Joe Thomas and Donovan and Pat Washington, all those guys come around again. You see Donna's got him here, and Joe Thomas. So those guys are really doing a nice job of rushing in there. That's Latarius Douglas there. I'm sorry, yeah.
And that was the way the first half ended on Saturday. Bethune-Cookman with a 3-point lead over South Carolina State, 8-5. That is your State Farm first half highlights. We'll take a break here on the Buddy Pough Show and come back. We've got more coming your way on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show. The Pough Mental Health Injury Report, Coach, and unfortunately this list gets a little longer each week.
It does. Erskine Johnson's got a little bit of a knee deal. We think he may be out for a while. I'm thinking Latarius is going to be back, but now he was out for a few snaps, and Sam Hammond was out toward the end of the game. But, those guys all seem to, find their way back as quick as they can, especially after a win.
We did not see Yari King's name on this list. Yari King did not make the trip to Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yari has a little bit of a concussion, and I'm hoping he'll be cleared to come back this week because he really is one of our headier defensive guys.
With that, folks, that is the Pough Mental Health Injury Report. We will take a time out here once again on the Buddy Pough Show. When we come back, we'll get to Saturday's exciting second half highlights. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back after these messages.